This week, we chat about the best and worst diets for 2022 and an evil plant-based roommate and how a sideshow freak looks normal today. Let's get into it. Dewey, you look more like a samurai every day. I like your man bun.
It's getting there.
Isn't it funny how
Getting ready to cut it.
how the roles have switched? When I had like super long hair forever, and then now your hair's longer than mine.
Right. Yeah, I'm clean shaven and you got scruff.
The evolution. Well, it's 2022, baby.
I prefer this, by the way.
Clean shaven.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not going for the full Viking.
No. It's too scratchily.
All right, so episode 50, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, we missed one because of Florida problems. I couldn't technically connect.
Right.
So technically this would be 51. So next week would be a year's worth if we done one.
It's still a year.
That's consistency, baby.
It's still a year.
You know what's funny about the whole thing about nutrition and fitness is consistency, right?
Right.
And that's how I can tell that we're both. Pat myself. I'm going to break my arm. Pat myself on the back here. Being a good example of that is because it's hard to find somebody that would actually commit to do this.
Right.
And
Right.
actually show up and try to make it happen. So,
Right.
I think that's just an example. And what's that thing you always say? And it's kind of how you do one thing is how you do everything.
How you do
Right.
anything is how
It's
you do
kind of a
everything.
business
Right.
term, but
Yeah.
I think that applies too. So, pat.
Pat away.
Yeah, that's right.
You're right.
Sometimes you got to look back and say, hey, I did some shit. So we're kind of recapping our, it's a new year, New Year's resolutions. Everybody's getting back after it. We're going to cover some of that. And, everybody, it takes time to take stock in what's the best diet, what's the worst diet.
I got something good to bring up when we get into the New Year's resolution.
Okay, perfect. That'll be right after this. So you tweeted this or you texted me this or something, and
I texted it to you.
And I thought, ooh, this is kind of juicy, so we need to get into this and cover it a little bit. So this is talking about Keto, calories in, calories out, and you can go back and I think our second episode is on that. And basically, our main point then was that Keto is true, and you can't get away from the laws of that. But if you want to have a chance of being successful at it, you need to consider what calories those are. And that does make a difference.
And what the macros
You can't just eat
are.
2,000 calories of gummy bears and say, well, I'm in a deficit, I'm good.
Right. But then the Keto warriors will go, oh, but you'd still lose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not ever the only fucking objective. That's
Exactly.
not all you're trying to accomplish is to lose fat.
Exactly.
If it was, then you could be like the old runway models and live on vodka and cigarettes.
Right. Well, plus, I can't imagine you'd retain any muscle mass if you had 2,000 calories of gummy bears a
No,
day.
of course not.
Yeah. So the calories do matter. And then if you can be successful at operating in a deficit, that's the important thing, and make it so you're not suffering the entire time.
Sure.
So anyways, you texted me this, and let's just go through this. So this guy, Dr. Tro, okay, he's kind of a keto guy, right?
Yeah.
Keto guy.
Kind of.
I've seen his name come up. So he posted this analogy, and we'll look at that in a minute, but I want to see this guy, Kevin Bass's response. He said, yes, and he's being sarcastic here, right?
Yep.
He says, the water tank analogy, in quotes, kills the calories in, calories out principle of weight loss. If you think you've got it rough in your field, remember that this guy is one of my influential colleagues on the Bird app. I assume he means Twitter here. Mm-hmm. So be grateful. It can always be worse. And then he retweeted this graph where Dr. Tro says Keto is dead. And I was looking at this and I stared at it for like 10 minutes. I didn't even understand what he's trying to say. Okay, so basically it's got two examples. There's a water tank A and B with a valve in between, and then there's two inputs and an output in tank A. And what he says is, it's the water tank analogy. In A, the valve is closed and water does not fill part B. I assume water is fat or energy.
Or calories. Yeah.
Calories.
Energy. Yeah.
Yeah. When the valve is opened in B, the system accumulates water, but the cause of accumulation is not that more water comes in than goes out, nor more water coming in than going out can be considered a requisite for water accumulation in the system. First of all, that's just wonky, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I consider myself an intelligent person. It's hard for me to even grasp what he's trying to say here.
Right.
And second of all, what's the valve? He doesn't explain what the valve is.
Right.
Okay, so I didn't even understand what he's trying to say. I assume it means your body may or may not accumulate fat based on some other factor, which is this valve,
Yep.
not fully on calories in, calories out. That's what I think the point he's trying to make. Is that how you interpreted it?
Yep.
But again, without saying, "Hey, idiot, the valve is insulin," or the valve is
The valve could be exercise.
well, right.
I mean, we don't know.
Well, wouldn't that be the calories? That would be the out, wouldn't it? So anything burning calories would be.
Well, yeah, but
Would be the
it's
out.
keeping it from going over to B. Because
get
if you're burning them and you're sending them out right away, they never make it to B.
Right. Even if it's open.
You're right.
Well, if it's open, if the valve's open, it's going to fill up A and B, and they're going to be equal. And then the only thing that's going to go out is it reaches a high level,
Oh, right,
high enough
right.
level to get out. See, it's
I don't
confusing,
get it,
right?
yeah.
It does. So first of all, shitty graph, shitty analogy. If whatever point you're trying to make is lost on most people.
Right.
So then I pulled up the original tweet from Dr. Troy, track this down. So here's the tweet, and then but all he says is Seco is dead. No explanation.
What's
Okay.
Libertas say?
Libertas. So here's some comments. At first, I wanted to comment that this is a bad analogy. After having looked at it for the 10th time, I think it's actually spot on. So somebody started out going, "This is bullshit," and then they came all the way around to he nailed it. I don't know how they got there. See, they need to explain to me the steps they took, the mental gymnastics it took to get there. But without explaining what the valve is, I can't buy into it yet. Oh, okay, then here's another one. The valve is malonyl CoA, the regulator of
CoA.
Okay, CoA, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, let's see. What's my doctor never explained the valve to me. Had to find out myself. Somebody else is mind blowing. And then he says, "Surely you're being sarcastic. What is it A and B representative of in the human body?"
Well, click on it. Oh,
Okay,
wait.
then he says fat cells. Water is energy. In A and B, there's the same Seco, except that in figure B, there's an accumulation of energy, fat, despite this. I would like to know what the valve is. Insulin, hormones in general.
Right.
See, they're confused. They seem pretty smart. They're confused as well.
There's not the same Seco if more water is going out.
If calories aren't stored as fat, where are they stored, or do they go out if not stored, or do they go out if not stored as fat? See, everyone's
So
confused.
then they go out. So then it's calories out.
Here's another one that says the valve could be insulin. Insulin will determine how much energy is stored. In type 2 diabetes, lots of energy will be stored. In an undiagnosed type 1 diabetes or one not getting exogenous insulin, no fat will be stored regardless of energy input. So, this guy needs to explain. And then so there's a lot of
Well,
arguing.
he doesn't because he wants all these
Well,
replies.
yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, he's getting the juice. So, yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing. I don't know what to think. He needs to eventually, after he gets 1 million replies, then he can go, "Here's what I meant, minions."
Well, yeah, because he only has 10 retweets,
Yeah, it's not like it's
only 49 likes.
It's not like it's
But here's the
okay, well,
question:
let's look at
is
this thing. So he's board certified.
okay, sir?
physician.
Great analogy. Now, how do I close my valve?
Exactly. Yeah. How do I control that valve opening or closing? Yeah.
Right.
That's what matters. And without explaining that, it's pretty useless, except for us to argue about.
You should click on the retweets because I wonder if
If it's people shitting on him.
Oh, it doesn't. It just says who.
Yeah. So yeah, they could be retweeting it sarcastically.
They could be retweeting it and
or
explaining why it's
sincerely.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Or
so-
retweeting it and explaining why it works.
Exactly. Yep. So that's interesting. So look up Dr. Tro and look up Kevin Bass. Now, who's this Kevin Bass guy?
He's an English guy. I follow him. We've messaged back
And they're both
forth.
MDs, right?
Yep.
So again, you got that.
Yep.
that
Kevin Bass is a student, but still.
Yeah. Again, you got the competing credentials. They're both well credentialed, so you can't go based on that.
Kevin Bass is super, 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 I think maybe to a fault, science-based in the fact that
And not reality based.
if it's not 100% proven, settled, end of story,
That it's fiction.
then it doesn't matter.
That it's fiction.
Yeah, then
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Right.
You can't argue the point unless it's that solid.
Regardless of how much anecdotal evidence you
Because
might
that's all
see.
he'll say right there.
Yeah.
He'll say, that's anecdotal.
Right.
That person's an outlier.
Without a random controlled study.
Yeah.
Then it's you don't
Is
even
it peer
factor
reviewed?
in.
Not peer-reviewed? No, but don't even want to talk about
Then
it.
it's just gone.
Yep, don't even want to talk about
Right.
it. And then and if you keep on, he'll just, is it peer-reviewed? And then he'll fucking block you.
And that's dogmatic in its own sense.
It is.
When you're being that dogmatic about I need a random controlled trial for everything or I believe nothing.
Right.
You know, that's just as
Right.
dogmatic.
Right. Because all the stuff that is settled in concrete and we know as gospel
Yep.
was once not peer-reviewed.
Right. Well, exactly. Right. Yep. So, Jesus. So let's talk about this. I found this article kind of funny. So it's the American Heart Association. So I'm already like, meh. So find your way back to the gym safely because New Year's Eve, right? New Year's resolutions. It's a new year.
Spray the shit
And
out of the treadmill.
yeah, so they're
first.
spraying everything. Like, ooh. I mean, are we afraid of COVID? I mean, isn't that been debunked? The surface transmission thing is fully debunked, right?
Pretty much for any virus.
I mean, you should wipe down your equipment just as good etiquette, just because nobody wants your slime on there.
Your slime or
But that's it.
some jackass who wipes his ass with his hand.
Right, exactly.
It was holding that handle before me. And that's why I wipe it down.
Yeah, exactly. So do that out of good manners.
Right.
So it starts with the vaccine. I'm ignoring that part. Next paragraph. Is it safe to work out after having COVID-19? I've heard a lot of differing opinions on this. Like I know Rogan said he felt like crap. He didn't even try for like a day or two. And then once he felt like up to it, then he worked out and he was fine.
Yeah.
When I had it a year ago, I mean, I was like flu-like. So, I had the standard fatigue. So was no way in hell I was
Oh,
going to
you
work
were?
out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I thought you were asymptomatic.
No, I had it I had the OG COVID back in
Sure.
whatever, November of 2020. So,
So
over a year ago.
okay,
So yeah, I had
okay.
flu. I had, it was like a flu for a couple days. But fatigue, fever, lost the sense of smell, which by the way is back because in the hallway I smelled massive weed out there. So
finally back.
Somebody was token.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's back. Big
It's
time.
cold out.
Yeah, right. You can't smoke weed outside.
Right.
You got to do it in the hallway of the apartment building.
My gummies, dude.
But anyways, I definitely wasn't going to work out for those couple days because of just no energy,
Right.
So I think it really depends on whether your symptoms are that you have that fatigue or not. If you don't, I would say, why stop? If you can work out, go for it.
There's an old saying. When you get sick and working out, and if it's in your head, go ahead. If it's in your chest, you better rest.
Right. Yeah. And maybe, that might alter which exercises you do. It may be for, having breathing stuff, then don't do a lot of cardio.
Right.
But you can still probably lift.
Sure.
Do some sets of heavy lifting if you can do it.
I know I'm under the weather, and I worked out
Did you?
Monday night. It was not enjoyable.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be fun.
And it wasn't the
for
lungs
sure.
or anything, because nothing's in my chest. It's all
Was
in
it
my
just
head.
like
It's all
lack
head
of,
up.
lack of energy. Or?
Yeah, just everything felt 3 times as heavy, and
Yeah, if you don't feel powerful, that sucks. When you don't have that energy.
I'd already worked out earlier in the day, so I thought maybe it was just a little bit of a hangover from that. But
Right.
no, and then I came home and got hit with the 2x4.
Pace yourself. Next recommendation.
Moderation is for cowards.
Exactly. Right. Speaking of that, have you seen that movie Pain and Gain with Wahlberg and The Rock? God damn, that's funny. It's on Hulu. I just watched that last night.
watch it.
Fucking Wahlberg is hilarious in that. It's about these bodybuilder dudes in Miami.
They come like robbery. They
Well,
rob
they-
a bank or something.
They just convinced themselves. They went to some seminar, like a kind of a Tony Robbins, like get rich quick
Oh, yeah.
type seminar, and they convinced themselves that they deserve whatever they want. So then they find a rich client at this
Oh yeah.
gym that they're
Yes.
fitness trainers at, and then they
Yep.
just basically kidnap him and make him sign over all this shit. Based on a true story, by the way. So
Yes.
I got to look up and see who these idiots were, but
Yep.
great movie. But Marky Mark is jacked in that movie.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's like big, and he's kind of a little guy. He's only like 5'8" or not 5'9"
Sure.
or something, but
Yep.
he definitely put on some serious bulk. I mean, he's not competing with The Rock. The Rock is just a monster compared to anybody, but Wahlberg,
6'5",
is
280,
jacked. Yeah.
no fat.
Yep. So yeah, but anyways, they're kind of obsessed with their, the pain part of it, and it's called Pain and Gain. So that made me think of that.
That's awesome.
Okay, so let's see. Her clinic has been swamped by people who rushed back into exercising at the same level they did last year, then injured themselves. Oh, so it's that risk of injury thing. So Walt's Wait's general rule is to do about half what you were doing before you stop. So that's if somebody like took a year off or 6 months
Right.
off or something. Yeah, I mean, I'd say what I did whenever I
Which for most resolutioners is probably 10 months.
11.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whenever I, for some reason, am out of practice for a few months or whatever, then I just figure out where I was at in my weight levels for a certain exercise and just back off a little. And then with the rule of if I can do it with good form, then just keep moving up until you can't. And then if it reset down a smidge, then whatever, but just go based on the ability to barely finish.
Sure.
That, what do they call that? The perceived rate of exertion. Yeah. So if, that's kind of my judge. If I can barely get out the last rep, then I'm probably doing, that's pretty good.
Then do you drop set from there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just went up and I'm up to 160 now for my 4 sets of 10 bench press, up 5 from 155. And I could barely eke out the last, one.
Sure.
But then I just took off everything but the I don't know, I went down to like 130 or something and then did one more quick set of ones I knew I could do with good form after I could barely get up to 160 and work down from there. And that really for me is a great way to just destroy the muscle, because sometimes your form is so shitty by the last rep that, you're
incorporating shit that you're not working in anymore.
Yeah, and it's not
starting to get into your shoulder.
Right, and it's just, I'm just trying to get it up there, and,
Right.
and that's the only concern. But then if you can go back, drop the weight a little, and your muscles are already tired, and you can maintain good form at a lower weight, boy, the burn is just tripled by the time you're done with that. I even do that when I'm doing dumbbell curls. Like normally I do 35s for my regular 4 sets of 10. Then when I'm done with the 4 sets of 10, I'll just throw those down and grab the 10s,
Okay.
like almost nothing, right? And just go until I can't even get them up.
Right.
And holy shit, that's a better burn than if I just would have done another set of the 35.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
so definitely a great thing to add on to at the end of every exercise.
The good finisher, they call it.
Exactly. Especially when it's the last one of the day, because then you're like, okay, I don't need these muscles for anything except to walk up the stairs now.
Right.
So, just leave it all there. Mm-hmm. So moderation, F that. Oh, see, no pain, no gain, not necessarily. If your goal is to become stronger, faster, or win a race, you want to get to a point where you have muscle fatigue. See, we just talked about that.
Right.
The point where you feel a burn or a feel of slight discomfort. Slight? Amateurs. But if your main goal is to simply improve your cardiorespiratory health, reduce your risk of heart disease, maintain your weight, and regulate your blood sugar and blood pressure, you don't need to go that far. All right. That's probably all true, but I guess everybody has different goals, right?
Yeah.
Starting from scratch, you can do it. Whatever your starting point is, honor it as a valid starting point and make a plan for smart progression. Yeah,
Right.
like we always say, you have to
Yeah. It's
increase.
and it's you against you.
It's you against you. That's right. All right. Well, I found a couple funny things. You shared this with me. Here's for all the New Year's resolutioners out there. A text exchange. It says, "Hi, Susan. It's Gary from the gym. I just wanted to follow up with after your free trial to see what you needed to get you going on your fitness goals. What can I do to help? Hi, Gary. I've decided to stay fat. Thank you."
Susan's not mincing words at all.
I can respect that honesty, though.
Yeah,
Rather than just
absolutely.
ghosting them.
Oh, if you were a salesperson, you'd be like, awesome, scratch.
Yeah, you just saved me 15 follow-up calls.
Right, right. Speaking of, go ahead. If you have
There's one more funny one. Okay, it says first, and this is an office meme, so we both immediately love it. And it says first day at the gym, be like, and then there's Kevin working on the cardio dummy, the CPR dummy. I can't keep doing this forever. It's been 20 seconds. Call it. I miss that show. My kids just finished the whole series. We've been watching like an episode a night for the past couple months.
Sure.
And they finally made their way through and finished the whole thing. Man,
nice.
What a great show.
It is so well written.
I miss Kevin.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's doing now. I think of him often.
He's got a podcast.
Does he?
Yep.
You kind of want to reach out. That's a guy you want to reach out to and go, dude, let's help. Let's help you.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he's legit obese.
Right. Yeah, that would be a good client. It's part of his shtick, though.
At the end, my favorite, well, that's true. He might not be funny anymore. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't be, being that fat is much more hilarious.
That's why
especially when he's bald.
He still has that shitty haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. My favorite on the finale was when Meredith goes, man, if this wasn't being filmed, I would have been way more vulgar. I was on my best behavior for 9 years. Classic. Oh, and then, okay, here's one that kind of relates. Not funny, but it says, this is from at Facts. Men who are able to complete 40 consecutive push-ups are 96% less at risk of cardiovascular disease than those who can manage under 10. Now, it's not just a function of the push-ups. No. Obviously, it's just that somebody in shape is way less likely to have heart problem than somebody who's not. But this one hit home because, as I was telling you on the last episode, when I went in and got my free consult before I did any working out.
Oh, yeah.
And I could barely eke out like 9.
Oh, right.
And I was just filled with shame immediately. Yeah. And I was in that category. And now I bang out 50 unbroken every morning. And when we were doing our catch or the 22 veteran thing, I was doing 40 in the morning and 40 at night.
Right.
So, and that didn't take, it only took a few months. So, I mean, you can change yourself from, you can make yourself in the group that's 96% less at risk pretty quick.
I think that's a bit of a misnomer. I think there's a lot of people who are at
types misnomer. See what it means.
There are thousands of people who are at great risk for cardiovascular disease and could do 40 push-ups.
Oh, yeah, that's true too.
So if you're out there right now and you're like obese, but you're still strong,
yeah,
and you could rip off 40, like, I'm good.
Right.
Dude, I'm good. I don't even need to go see the doctor. I'm good. It says right in that meme.
Yep. And by the way, listen to only memes for your medical advice. Only ones you get from two idiots with microphones.
Right.
All right.
That'll get you far.
Okay, so I saw this article and this made me laugh. Okay. Woman swaps out roommate's food with vegan alternative, ends up charged with a felony.
Heavy-handed.
Oh, this is good shit. Yeah, I mean, I think it's much worse the other way. If I was like a religious Muslim or something and couldn't eat pork, or if I was Jewish and they can't eat whatever, probably the same shit, right?
Beef.
They can't eat. I don't think they can eat pork either.
Not,
Isn't it funny how it's the same thing? They hate each other, but they both can't eat this. They both have the same restrictions. Well, whatever. So, for religious reasons, then you made them snuck in some, pig into their stuff. Okay. That's, to me, worse than if somebody gives me a plant-based burger.
Right.
That's just gross.
Right.
But I'm not going to sue them or anything. So this is from Cincinnati. A woman claims she pressed charges against her roommate after she switched her typical food out with vegan alternatives, leading to disastrous consequences.
What?
The story is posted on Reddit, and the author says she was looking for a replacement roommate after one of hers moved out. She says she met a girl named Erin who said she was a vegetarian, but that it wasn't a problem if her roommates weren't. A day after she moved in, Erin apparently wanted to do something nice and cooked pancakes, bacon strips, and hash browns. The woman says that she has some severe allergies, but didn't mention them when she asked what was in the food. She told me it was regular bacon, Not that it was fake bacon or that it had soy. Oh, okay, I get it now. After she says she took a few bites, something tasted off. Erin apparently revealed the switch. At that point, she does a ta-da and smugly told us, "I bet it tastes exactly like meat," she wrote. Well, which we know it doesn't because we had
Right.
we tried the Impossible Whopper. The author says she began panicking because she is highly allergic to soy. She says Erin began apologizing, but she was already going into anaphylactic shock.
Holy shit.
Continues on to say the cost of her stay was expensive and she filed a complaint with the police because food tampering is a felony. Okay, it's because she was super hyper allergic. So
Right.
that makes a little more sense now.
Yeah.
Wow. She adds that she ended up suing Erin for compensation for her hospital fees and won that case as well, leading Erin to have her college scholarship canceled and to go into debt.
Oh, jeez.
Bet she won't do that again.
Right?
That's funny, man. In the comments, she specified that she initially asked her directly to pay her hospital bill, but Erin apparently refused. I know that she's an asshole for lying about food. I want to know whether I'm the asshole for everything I did after. Because bottom line is I basically screwed a person's life because they put the wrong ingredients on breakfast that they made only to do something nice. Well, I think they're both at fault and they're both not at fault.
Right.
I mean, she had good intentions. Well, plus she was just trying to be a smug bitch by
Right.
saying, "Look, see, you thought it was real bacon and it's not." Which, by the way, if somebody gave me fake bacon, I would 100% know immediately.
Right.
That stuff.
Just looking at it.
I mean, the burger's one thing, the Whopper, because, that's got all kinds of shit on
Yeah.
it. So you can maybe sneak that by me.
Yeah, but a piece of bacon.
But bacon, no way in hell. I mean, turkey bacon, I'm like, what's this shit? I mean, it's just not as good, I can tell that from regular bacon, and that's still both two animals.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Okay, now we're going to talk about.
Oh, New Year's
Oh,
resolution.
yeah. You want to talk about something?
Yeah, just the New Year's resolutioners.
Yeah, have you? Because you've been working out since the first.
Yeah.
So what have you seen?
And I've been going to
I'm in my home gym as usual, so I'm alone.
so you don't have to
Membership is
you don't
down.
notice. Right.
Membership is down at my home gym, but
Right.
none of my kids want to work out with me.
You're too mean. So no, I'm at the gym.
Give me 3 more reps, you're a loser. Daddy, I'm 8.
That's it. That wouldn't surprise me. So I go and I'm watching, and I'm like, all these noobs.
So did you see
My gut reaction
the
is,
noob herd come in?
Yeah. Yeah. It's packed.
Really?
Yeah. Quartz Plus is to the gills.
Okay, well, it's the 7th, so that won't last.
Well, see, and that's the whole point of my story, is I see these people, and all I hear is, well, at least they're there. And I'm like, that's a great point. And I celebrate that.
Yeah.
And I love seeing it busy, and I love seeing all these people are coming rushing back, and this is going to be my year. I'm going to make a difference. This is going to be awesome. And then something occurred to me as I'm watching them, because I ran on the treadmill for like 45 minutes. And as I'm watching people walk by, and there's mirrors all around, so I could see everyone on every machine. And I'm a people watcher.
Yep.
So my head's on a swivel. And I'm just watching. And everyone, not everyone, I'm being dramatic, but everyone is doing shit wrong.
Right.
It's like, dude, that's wrong.
Well,
that's wrong.
it's their first
I'm
day.
like, well,
Right.
that's not how you use that. That's not how you do those. Dude, you're going to hurt yourself. Lady. And it's just all screaming
Running
in
on
my
the
head.
treadmill backwards. What the hell are you doing?
That actually helps. We can talk about
That's
that
probably the
another
knees over
time.
toes guy would
It
say
is.
that, right?
Yep. Yeah, he does do it backwards on an incline.
That's funny.
So then I said, I messaged some buddies and I said, it's taking every ounce of my being not to say something right now.
Because you're a know-it-all.
Maybe. That's likely it.
Yeah.
But they're like, who fucking cares? Leave them alone. They're there. Why would you do that? They're there. And then I'm like, of course, I'm not going to say anything. But as I'm running, I have 45 minutes inside my own head. I'm thinking, but what if they're doing it wrong is why they don't come back?
Right. Or that contributes to it.
Right.
Because they don't get results or they
Right.
do injure themselves.
Right.
Or feel like shit after because they didn't do it properly.
Exactly.
But then, yeah, how do you interject yourself in that
Without being the asshole.
without being the know-it-all
can't.
guy? And
You can't because you're the know-it-all guy and they already know it all.
right.
No, I looked at the picture on the thing and now I know how to do it.
Right.
But you know what's the intended stimulus of that movement? To work my hamstrings. Well, you're not.
Right.
I mean, you're using your back.
Right.
You're going to get hurt.
Right.
And what if they at least just had like a floater trainer with like a logo and he just was like, oh, hey.
And super nice.
Yeah. And
Like,
just, hey.
smiley, nice.
Yeah. Like just super, super well-tempered and just his temperament was just perfect, or her.
Probably have to be a her.
Right. You have to be have that perfect temperament. But no, I just think that there's something to that. There's something to people hang it up or give up or throw in the towel or whatever cliche you want to use. But because I'm not seeing any results. This ain't working.
Well, yeah, because if you never actually worked your hamstring,
Right.
you're not
Right.
gonna
Or
see
if you get on the elliptical machine and you go like this at the speed of silence for 11 minutes and then you jump off, where if someone was like, no, back on, you're not done.
Right.
You did nothing.
Yep. That was
You
nothing.
accomplished nothing.
That was nothing.
You burned more calories and you had more of an aerobic workout walking in the building.
Yeah, that was one cracker. One cracker's worth.
Right.
It did nothing.
So your heart and lungs are screaming for more.
Yeah.
And you just tease them.
Yep.
So I don't know. That's probably a topic for an entire show.
That is tough though, because like I said, I'm not that guy because I'm way too much of a know-it-all, as is evidenced by this quick story. We were getting something off Amazon, and then it got canceled because I think it wrecked in an Amazon truck on the way from the cities because it was last to Brooklyn Park, and then it was the blizzard day, so it didn't come.
Yep.
And then my wife goes, "Well, why don't they just get it from they have a new Amazon thing up in Fargo?" And I was like, it took every ounce of my being not to go, they don't have one of everything that Amazon has in that building. But she could tell.
But her frame of reference was like Walmart.
Right.
Well, Walmart probably has pretty standardized inventory.
Well, yeah, if you get a coffee pot at Walmart, you can go to this other Walmart and just get it there.
Yep. So that was her frame of reference.
But I was doing the math going, okay, one of every item Amazon has would fill up an entire state, not a building.
And if it were there, that's where it would have come from.
So I was so snarky.
Right.
And even in my silence, she got annoyed because she could tell I was like holding back the snark.
Could she tell, or did it hit her like, oh, that was stupid?
No. She sat there looking at it for a response, and I was like, and she's like, oh, you asshole. So I'm not the guy to go around and gently tell everyone what they're doing wrong.
I couldn't be gently either. I'd be pretty matter of fact.
Yeah.
But I've learned that some people respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people respond to the kind of the football coach.
Oh yeah. Because what you don't want them to do is, take off their pads, take off their jersey, run in the end zone and wave at the crowd and then storm out.
Right. Yep. And just be a billboard for CTE.
No shit. Funny shit. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's a good observation though.
But I said why? That was the whole point of my question. Was you can't leave them alone. Why would you say that to them? Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Does it come from a good place? Well, but it won't be taken that way. That's on me. Why is that on me?
Well, it could be. I mean, it's mutual. They have to be ready for it, and you have to deliver it well. Like if you just went around as an experiment, maybe you should.
But that's a character flaw in them.
Well, maybe you should try this though. Like the next time you're there, go around and approach like 20 people and try that, and see if anybody takes it. See how many people take it well, how many get pissed off, how many are indifferent.
Well, we're in the northern Midwest, so everyone would be passive aggressive. Oh, thank you so much, and then they walk away like dick.
They're texting immediately. Right, this asshole thinks he knows everything. But his calves are small, so I know.
Right.
I know
Right.
He doesn't know shit, really.
Right, especially the left one. What the fuck is he doing?
The left. That's funny. Okay, so this made me laugh too. Okay. I think Sean Baker posted this, And
The fattest man in the world.
so for the audio listeners, it has a picture of an old dude. You know, I don't know how many pounds did you say this guy is? 400 maybe, 350.
350.
Okay,
Maybe push.
depends
Depends
on
on
how
how
tall
tall
he
he
is.
is.
So, okay, it says
how much
in
muscle he has.
1890, this guy was considered the fattest man in the world, and people paid money to see him. Today, he wouldn't even get a second.
That's West
look.
Acres right now.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I work. Never mind. I didn't say that. If anyone from work listens to this,
It's a different job.
it's my male stripping job. There, at least all this fat.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you took a picture of this guy in your wallet and had a little like notebook with you, and you make a little hash mark every time you see somebody at least this fat, you'd need to buy a new notebook. You know, hopefully not from Amazon. Well, just run up to the one up there because they have one of everything.
Right.
But you'd fill up that notebook with hash marks real fast.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, go to any restaurant, any public place
When we were waiting,
in Fargo, anywhere really.
we were Christmas shopping at West Acres, and we were in the Crave court.
Oh, Crave,
Right,
yeah.
right outside Best Buy. And we
Where the
actually-
fish tank is and all that.
Yeah, we were waiting for a table at Crave, and we're sitting at the high top, and me and my daughter are just sitting there chit chatting, and I looked over, and she gets mad at me. She's like, "Dad, you can't fat shame." I'm like, talking about it is not shaming.
She looks over before you even said anything.
Yep.
Like she could just tell.
Yep.
Like, kind of like my
She-
wife
she
knew
caught
I was
it.
being an
Yep,
asshole.
she caught it right away.
She-
But she didn't
You were
say
just
you can't.
disgusted by this person walking by, or what?
She didn't say you. I mean, she usually tells me you can't fat shame, but that's not how this encounter went. This encounter went. So, and I was setting it up when I said she usually says you can't fat shame. She gets on my ass, and she's like, she's super super passionate about it.
Yep.
Anyways, we're sitting there, and I'm like this, and she's kind of on her phone and looking around too, and I just went, "You know, Em," and she goes, "I know, you're not wrong."
So even she had to concede.
Yep.
Wow.
She saw it. It was like that dude in every chair.
Wow.
And not gender specific.
Oh yeah.
It was both ways.
No. Wow.
And the one couple.
And you weren't looking over at where Santa was, because the Santa guy gets a pass.
I was looking over at where Santa was, but it was the chairs right in front of where Santa is because I was looking at it.
It was the actual Santa. He gets a pass. Right?
Yeah,
He's got to stay in character.
Those are pillows. But it's and then two of the people who were like pushing maximum capacity on the chairs. Right. I'm serious.
Yeah.
They're way heavier than that guy. And they were just hammering on something from the food court.
Oh yeah.
Like it was Dairy Queen or
Well, you don't get that big accidentally. Just like
No.
you don't get muscles
right.
accidentally.
You don't just fall backwards.
You don't
into
get
that.
450 accidentally.
And
you got to put some work in.
And then the conversation evolved and developed a little bit with me and Em, and she says, back to but Dad, but you just leave them be. They're happy. They're living their life. If they're happy, just
They're
leave 'em
living
alone.
their extremely short life.
Right. Just if they're happy, leave them alone. And I said, we need to clear the air on something. I don't talk about that or point that out.
Just to like, ha.
No.
Just to laugh at them.
No, it's fucking heartbreaking.
Right.
And I can't stand it. And it
Right.
kills me to see people like that.
Right.
And just crying for help.
Yep.
And everybody says, well, that's condescending. You're looking down your nose at them by saying that they're crying for help. I don't think so. Because I think they are.
Right.
Inside, they are. Nobody wants to be like that.
Oh no. Yeah. If you under a lie detector or whatever, truth or Wonder Woman's lasso, of truth or whatever,
Right.
they would not go, this is awesome.
Right.
They would go, eating this Kung Pao chicken is awesome.
Right.
But I don't like filling up an entire sofa myself.
Right.
That part sucks.
Yep.
And they can't separate the two.
And my knees constantly hurting and my
God.
back pain and I'm out constantly winded.
Or, every time they drop something, it's just gone forever. Because they can't pick it up.
Nope.
It's just, well, that phone's gone. Off to the phone store.
Got a new kid.
Right. Yeah.
So I get emotional about
And
it.
it's gotten worse. And that's the point of this picture, is because this guy was so rare that he was literally a sideshow freak and people would pay money just to stare at him.
Yeah.
And now that guy you wouldn't even bat an eye.
Oh, that's the
Seen
guy
that
I
guy.
bought my tires from.
Exactly. Right.
Yep.
I mean, he's, like you said, filling up the entire section at West Acres. For those of you in England, that's our local mall. So, yep, it's just telling, very telling. Okay, so let's get into this. Before we, crap, you just saw it. I was going to have you guess what the.
I did know the answer, though.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
Let's see, because I found two articles. One that says the best diet for 2022 and the worst diet for 2022. Did you see the worst one yet? I didn't hover over that one, did you? Okay, best one you saw was, let's just look at it.
I'm going to say the worst one is...
Well, the problem is they're not going to say the real answer, which is a standard American diet.
No.
They're not going to say that. So it's got to be one of the, in quotes, fad diets.
I'm going to actually go out on a limb and say carnivore.
Keto.
Is it really?
Yep. That's what they say is the worst. So we're going to go through these articles real quick.
The Mediterranean is basically keto.
Right. I mean, exactly. There's not that much difference, right?
Like somebody put on Twitter the other day, or yesterday, as a matter of fact, he tweeted, he goes, so all I have to do is just fry my steak in olive oil.
Right. Okay, so Mediterranean diet named best diet for 2022. Okay, it's a winning streak that just won't quit. For the 5th year in a row, the Mediterranean diet was first across the finish line in our annual race for best diet, according to ratings announced by U.S. News and World Report. Coming in a close second in a tie, the DASH diet, which stands for Dietary Approach to Stop Hypertension and emphasizes reducing salt intake. Ooh, I don't like that one already.
Why is that too?
And the flexitarian diet, which encourages being a vegetarian most of the time. So that's number 2, tied for 2. Drop all this, get your salt down and then be a vegetarian most of the time. But it's flexible enough to allow a burger once in a while. All 3 of these diets reduce or eliminate processed foods and stress packing your plate with fruits, vegetables, beans, lentils, whole grains, nuts, and seeds.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, there's the
Just get rid of the
reason why they
processed
work,
foods, right?
Exactly. I think it's very important to note that the top 3 diets, Mediterranean, DASH, and flexitarian, I've never even heard that word, all offer variety, flexibility,
Let's not say it anymore.
and few, if any, rules. Okay, all the diets that perform well are safe, sensible, and backed by sound science. The diet winners also provide adequate calories with a focus on vegetables, fruit, and whole grains, a modest amount of lean protein, dairy, and an occasional treat. Okay, so let's look at this Mediterranean diet.
What's an occasional treat?
Right. Yeah, you better be careful with that definition, right?
Quantify it, please.
Yeah, give me exact amount of grams.
It's like
Otherwise, it's a bag of whatever.
It's like when I ask my sales guys at my day job, and I say, "When are you going to get this done?" ASAP.
Soon.
And I say, "ASAP's not a date."
No. Exactly. Yep. Because that could, in their mind, it could be 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're thinking by tomorrow, idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Mediterranean diet. In addition to its top spot as best overall diet, the Mediterranean style of eating, it also captured the blue ribbon in the following categories: easiest diets to follow, best diets for healthy eating, best diets for diabetes, and best plant-based diets.
What they didn't get the blue ribbon in is the cost.
Oh, is that an expensive one?
Salmon,
Oh, yeah, right. Because they're less red meat, more
fish.
and stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Mediterranean diet can reduce the risk for diabetes, high cholesterol, dementia, memory loss, depression, and breast cancer. All righty.
It's
A diet which is more of an eating style than a restricted diet has also been linked to stronger bones, a healthier heart, and longer life. Now, I would say all this is a function of losing weight,
right.
right? And if you switch from the standard American diet to this, to any of these, you're going to have success losing weight.
Right.
So that's the key in my mind. Okay, so the diet features simple plant-based cooking. See, I don't remember Mediterranean being described as plant-based.
Plant-based, not plant exclusive.
No.
That's
But
where-
even then, when it first came out, I don't remember that being even the highlight of it. I thought it was more of like, you have some fish with some salad and, it was
olives
like
and
a mix,
some, some bread. some whole grain bread with some olive oil spread on it.
Right. It says, each meal focused on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans, and seeds, with a few nuts and a heavy emphasis on extra virgin olive oil. Fats other than olive oil, such as butter, are consumed rarely, if at all, and sugar and refined foods are reserved for special occasions. Red meat is used sparingly, usually only to flavor a dish. Eating healthy omega-3 oil-packed fish is encouraged, while eggs, dairy, and poultry are eaten in much smaller portions than in the traditional Western diet.
So it's low fat.
Yep.
That's
yeah. Because
It's
rather
low
than having a
fat.
ribeye, you're having some salmon or
But
something.
you know what? Mediterranean. Sounds exotic.
Exactly. It sounds like you're really
It's
just
just a low fat diet.
it sounds like something Gwyneth Paltrow would do.
Right.
And
I mean,
you-
technically it's
and
not
you
low
can eat
fat,
it
but-
to the with the scent of her vagina candle on the table nearby.
To each their own, I guess.
Right. Make sure I get COVID again, so I don't have to take a sniff of that. Okay, so it's the
You
best
don't
diet for
have to.
I burned my nose hairs because I was trying to get so close to sniffing.
That's a choice.
Best diet for heart health. In the heart healthy diet category, the Mediterranean diet shared the winner's circle with the Ornish diet. Oh, this guy again. The Ornish guy, he's another plant guy.
Yeah, he's a plant-based nut.
Only 10% of the calories came from fat, very little of it saturated. So they're really anti-fat here. Most foods with any cholesterol or refined carbohydrates, oils, excessive caffeine, and nearly all animal products besides egg whites and 1 cup per day of non-fat milk or yogurt are banned, though the plan includes some seeds and nuts. All right. And then
It's low fat.
it's low fat. Best for diabetes, best for weight loss. Okay. Now, let's look at what has been labeled the worst diet by News and World Report. So same people. So this was the worst one. Keto, evil keto. Isn't it funny?
It's just in their crosshairs.
Isn't it funny though? Because I mean, just anecdotally, you've seen so much success.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't get the hate for it, and I think you could fuck up any of these diets.
Oh, for sure. There's
know.
fat people who do keto.
Right. And just like you see, people that are vegans, right? Well, you can eat vegan freaking cereal and crap all day long,
Right.
I mean, it's not, you can still have a bunch of processed crap. I think it's funny, the line that runs through all the success of any of these diets is cutting out the processed stuff.
Wow.
Right?
Right.
I mean, that's on all of these. And
So
I
you're
think,
telling me eating real food is good for you?
right.
Who would have thought?
Only us for a year saying it nonstop every week. So here, let's see how they crap on keto here. The keto diet was ranked the worst diet for healthy eating by U.S. News and World Report. The high-fat, low-carb diet seemed deemed too restrictive. Evidence suggests it may have some benefits. Do you think? Experts
So,
say,
whoa. So it's the worst diet because it seems too restrictive. So the reason
I think
they
that's one of
voted
the
it,
reasons they didn't
the
like
reason
it.
they voted it the worst diet is because people are fucking children.
because they can't stick to it.
Too restrictive. I don't get cookies.
Don't know that. Problem is there's tons of keto snacks out there.
Oh, for sure.
Since keto's become popular,
Yeah.
I mean, you can get keto cereal, you can get keto ice cream, keto cookies,
They've
everything.
sugar alcohols.
Yeah,
you can do
there's-
anything.
Exactly. I mean, there's, again, I would say stay away from that shit too.
For sure.
If you're doing keto, do it with as much whole food as you can, and you're going to be way more successful. Okay, so
If you're trying to quit drinking, you don't give someone near beer.
right, exactly right. Yeah, I think you're just better off avoiding those kinds of things.
You're not breaking any habits.
Not breaking the habit, exactly, because your mouth gets used to that wanting that treat all the time. Sometimes you just have to power through. And like when I told my wife, I said, buy some chicken breasts. I'm trying to, be hardcore. I said, just make me X amount. I think I said, 16 ounces of chicken breasts, bake them, cut them up, and I'm just going to throw some Franks on there, and it's just medicine.
Right.
I'm not
Yep.
I'm not like, oh, this needs to be a delicious culinary experience. It's like, no, I'm powering
It's
this
just
in
fuel.
because
Yeah.
this is the amount I've allocated myself.
Yep.
And yes, I am agreeing that it's not as fun as mowing down a bunch of Oreos,
No.
but I'm doing this because I'm trying to drop fat,
Right.
you know, so just cube it up, throw some Franks on there, some salt on there, and boom.
Yep.
I'll eat it like, you know, a patient.
Right. Or like a bodybuilder.
And yeah, and I'm agreeing that it is a sacrifice. You know, I'm doing it to try to accomplish a goal. So let's see what they say about keto. So the keto diet works by cutting carbs almost entirely, prompting the body to enter a metabolic state called ketosis, in which it burns fat for energy instead of glucose from carbs, its preferred fuel source. Dieters eat less than 30 grams per day, often measured as net carbs or total carbs minus fiber, and consume hefty portions of dietary. I cognitive bias switched it to healthy portions of dietary fats. my brain autocorrects, but they say hefty portions of dietary fats, which make up about 70% of the diet. Dieters who follow keto say low carb is a viable strategy for losing weight, boosting energy, and improving health, which we've seen time and time again. Some evidence suggests that it can be beneficial for some people as it is as effective as low fat for weight loss. There's that again, right? You know, cut the carbs or cut the fat. You'll both lose weight. Neither one of them says avoid the protein, though.
Right.
So that's the other common thread through all of these is you got to get your protein. But nutrition experts have expressed concern that keto and other diets that cut out whole food groups, such as the Dukan diet, what the hell's that? I've never heard of that one either. Gotta look up this one. And Whole30, I better see what that one is too, can lead to excessive restriction and nutritional imbalances, which are difficult to follow long term. Okay, so we gotta look up what this Dukan is. The Dukan diet, which Kate Middleton was once rumored to try. Oh, big deal.
Yeah, right? She tried it for like 3 days.
What the hell does that matter?
So it's named after
So
her.
that was the worst one for 2019. Okay, so what is it? The diet calls for high protein and promises help with weight loss, but found it very again. There it is, very restrictive with too many rules. Okay, well let's see what it is. Oh, it's okay. It's named for its creator Pierre Ducan, who calls for a high intake of protein and promises to help with weight loss. So far, I like it.
Right.
Okay.
Only based on rumors that Kate Middleton did.
Right. The diet is based on the idea that filling up on protein and limiting carbs will lead to weight loss. I love this diet.
Right.
I mean, it fulfills that protein hypothesis,
Right.
that your body's going to eat until it gets the protein it needs, and whatever else comes along with that is why you have problems. It claims that dieters could lose up to 10 pounds in the first week and 2 to 4 pounds per week thereafter. What's the downside?
I'm failing to see it.
Exactly. Okay. So, I mean, I'll agree with him. The one downside is it takes a lot of discipline. But, you know, you could say that about any of these, honestly.
But you're going to need it.
You're going to need that regardless.
To get out.
Exactly. So.
You're going to need a fuck ton of discipline to only eat one cookie.
No shit.
If you're allowed it.
Exactly.
Well, it's not restrictive. I get to eat what I want. Yep.
Not
very much.
Yeah, the reason they got dismal ratings is because it was too restrictive, lots of rules, and there's no evidence it works. What the hell? How can you say that? Okay.
So
let's look at the Whole30 here. Okay, so lost 5 pounds in 30 days, trying the trendy Whole30. Here's why I still wouldn't recommend it. Okay, so the Whole30 is designed to cut out all inflammatory foods out of your diet, reset your gut, and help you figure out what's been causing your ailments. Foods on the off-limits list include soy, legumes, added sugar, real or artificial, grains, dairy, baked goods, junk foods, carrageenan, well, I don't know what the hell that is, MSG, and sulfates. I like that list of cutting those out. Mm-hmm. Eating treats or snacks made with approved foods like coconut flour pancakes is totally missing the point of Whole30 and will compromise your life-changing results. So they're basically saying skip the taste-alikes.
Right.
Don't try to, make fake pancakes because you'll probably just overeat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting more processed crap anyways. So, yeah, I'd never heard of this one either. Okay, so.
Oh, it was big for a while.
Yeah. Okay.
Made its rounds through CrossFit a while back. Mel did it. She liked it.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm going to do Whole40.
Right, exactly.
So 4-minute abs.
So cut out inflammatory food. So that's basically the right 4-minute abs. Okay. No peanut butter, no grains. I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, there's
So-
nothing wrong with it.
So far, these ones that they hate on, I like them.
Right.
Especially that Ducan one. Prioritize the protein and cut out the other crap. I like it. So here's why keto's the worst. Okay, it says low carb diets like keto aren't for everyone. Why not? Cardiologists have warned against versions of keto that are heavy with saturated fats like red meat, evil butter, and evil bacon, all which are linked to higher risk of heart disease. Well, yes, when they're served up in Whopper form.
But yeah. Or they're chased with pancakes and syrup.
Exactly. And a side of fries cooked in, God
Right.
knows what.
Right.
Cutting carbs also restricts healthy nutrient-dense foods, including fruits, starchy vegetables, whole grains, and legumes.
False.
Right. Eliminating a variety of foods causes you to miss out on important nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Again, just look at Sean Baker. I mean, he eats nothing but ribeyes every day.
I'm waiting for him or Dr. Greger. One of them has to tip over.
Right.
Right? Yeah. One of them has to be right.
Well, a strong wind will tip over Gregor.
Right.
So
But they're basically having a nutritional steering contest right now.
pretty much.
And one of them has to
Nutritional
tip over.
chicken.
Right.
Except Gregor would call it something else because chicken would be offensive.
Right.
Well, I mean, if you just look at both of them, I mean, you can't possibly give the tip to Gregor. I mean, show me there's plenty of vegan bodybuilder
nothing.
dudes, have them compete against Baker, right? Somebody who's actually in shape, but Gregor has no muscles.
Yes.
So he can't be the competitor on that side. Okay, so it says, here's something you can refute. Okay, well, it's possible to incorporate more balanced forms of keto with leafy greens, berries, and non-starchy vegetables. It's extremely rigid and difficult to achieve. You can't really eat vegetables on a 10% carb diet. Any diet low in vegetables is not one I'd recommend. Now, when I was doing keto, because that was kind of my entry into mostly carnivore, which I'm not fully, but I call myself ketovore. It's kind of I'm primarily meat. But when I had a ribeye with a salad or asparagus or something, that didn't feel restrictive in the least.
Right.
I mean,
It's not restrictive.
no.
It's not going to throw you out.
And that felt like I loved it. It tastes great. And to me, it hits all the points.
Right.
What's wrong with,
Yeah. It's not going to throw you out.
a ribeye and some asparagus, a ribeye and a leafy salad or some spinach or whatever. What's wrong with that?
See, they're going by the 10% carbs.
Yeah. Or the staying under 20 grams or whatever per day.
Yeah, and that's all just a starting point.
Right.
It's just, hey, you know what? We're going to start there, and let's see where this thing takes us.
Yep.
Because you might be 30% carbs.
Yeah.
You might. Who knows?
That's why you got to track.
Yep. And you might, if you're super active, if you want to eat more carbs, then be more active.
Exactly. And your scale and your measurements and your clothes are going to tell you if you're moving in the right direction or not. Mm-hmm. So,
Because I know, and I made this point on Facebook the other day, that if I take some people at my CrossFit gym who are elite, super fit athletes, and I test their ketones, they're going to piss hot.
Oh, right.
And they eat 500 grams of carbs a day.
Right. Because they're
burnt. They're
burning
not
all.
storing glucose.
Exactly.
So if you don't store glucose, you're going to convert fat into energy.
Exactly. Right. So, I mean, this is all
Fat, here, even boil it down even simpler. Mm-hmm. Fat is energy.
Yep.
Carbs are energy. In order for you to use the fat as energy, what does it need to turn into? A ketone.
right. Yep.
People just make it so hard.
Exactly.
They just try to make it sound like some either scary fad diet that's going to kill you, or they make it sound like you have to buy these
everything.
It cures everything, and you have to buy these special drinks from me,
Yeah, right.
and then sign up underneath me, and then you go get people to sign up underneath you.
Or the best is drinking the ketones.
So you don't have to eat that diet.
I saw the best analogy for that, and that said that's literally like spraying water on yourself and saying, "Well, look how much I just worked out."
Right.
Like you didn't generate the sweat; you just spray water on your.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't generate them, if the body doesn't generate them, they're not any good. Just by drinking them.
No, it's like drinking a Diet Dew when you're getting caffeine rush.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a silly thing. But I mean, it's just marketing, and everybody falls for the fad thing, and that's why there's a million keto snacks and products out there. They're just, and vegan stuff too. I mean, everything. If there's a marketplace, if there's a niche, somebody's going to come in and fill it. That's just the nature of capitalism. So you have to approach everything with a healthy dose of skepticism.
With all the tribalism against the low carb approach and or keto, with all of the tribalism against that approach, wouldn't by now they would have got their gotcha?
Right. Yeah.
They haven't.
They need a few Sean Bakers to keel over.
Well, but they're just like, oh, it's bad for you. You can't put it. You can't do this. You can't do that. Well, guess what? Dr. Atkins was preaching this diet 100 years ago.
Right.
And nobody's still been able to go, gotcha. Right. Here's why you shouldn't do it.
Exactly. Well, because even it seems like there's a group, it's divided between people that are just want to yak about this stuff. And then there's the people that actually do it and get results. Like bodybuilders have been doing this crap forever.
Yep.
Like if you watch Pumping Iron, Arnold is sitting there yelling at I forget the name, the guy, Frank something.
Franco?
Yeah.
Yep.
He ate the bun. What the loser, he ate the bun. They're talking about going out and eating burgers.
Right.
And he's giving the guy shit.
Right.
And this is 1972 or something.
Yeah, it's because he's wasting his calories on
Right. They're
carbs.
like, just eat the meat, dummy.
Eat the protein, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that back then. This is before keto was a word.
Right.
I mean, so.
You know what I think it is?
And those guys got results. So they had to get results. And so they knew what worked, regardless of all the yakking.
Exactly. And the problem is people are so dogmatic that when they dig their toes in on something, it could be keto or politics, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Once they dig their toes in on something, they just constantly double down.
Yeah, any resistance just pushes them in further.
Yep.
And that's just sales.
Right.
If you try to convince anybody of anything, they're going to start pushing away.
Yep.
I mean, your best thing you can do as a good salesman, and you know this, is be walking away.
Take it away.
Yeah, be walking away.
Yep.
And make them chase you. Make it scarce. Have scarcity there. Make it. The more you try to convince, the more they go.
I'm gonna give all my.
They just push against.
I give all my sales secret away. That's my close. And I'm sitting across from your desk, and you say, "Well, why should I buy yours?" I always say, "I don't know that you should."
Right. Exactly.
We're not there yet.
Nope.
You might not. I might not want you to.
Or even better, you say, I don't know if you can handle this.
Yeah, kind of. That's basically what you're saying. Is you know what, sir? With all due respect, I don't know if we're a good fit.
Right. Yep. But if you sat there and begged them to take your deal.
Oh, we're so good. We're so much better than everybody else.
Run through your bullet points of how awesome you are.
Yeah.
They're just like, whatever.
The last guy just did that.
Yep.
No, you just take it away.
Take it away. You want to be the desirable thing that they might not get.
Yep.
And if you're that, then you have a chance. So, I try to.
I don't need your business. I value it.
Yep.
But I don't need it.
Exactly.
If this isn't going to work, we'll figure it out right now.
If only people would take that into all areas, like you said, politics, this diet stuff, and don't be so, And I've been guilty of this, and I've been doing something that. And, back when I first found Good Calories, Bad Calories, Gary Taubes' book in 2011, and all I did was cut carbs. I didn't know what keto was. It wasn't even really a thing. It was just.
And you were probably keto.
Yeah, probably, or kind of Atkins-ish.
Sure.
Whatever. Just
you were producing ketones.
Yeah, exactly. I was low carb, and then I had people coming up to me, "Are you sick?" Because I was losing weight so fast.
Yep.
I started, trumpeting it.
Well, for sure.
And I remember it's funny because I remember typing up an email because somebody asked me, like, well, what are you doing? And I typed up a giant email, eat this, don't eat that. I was like, very like, here's what you do.
Right.
Know? And I realize now like how douchey that was because I was just, my way is the way that works,
For sure.
And I don't know their circumstances.
It's no different than CrossFit. Because when you find something that works and you're passionate about it, you want to share it.
Right.
You don't want to preach and push people, and
Yep.
you're not selling it. I don't get anything for you to do that.
Nope.
When you find something, you want to share it. But I think
You're bearing witness.
Exactly.
Yep.
But I think the big thing for me why they're always trying to shit on keto is the same reason. It's because it works and it's successful. It's the same reason why you see so many people trying to shit on Joe Rogan now.
Right.
5 years ago, they didn't give a shit who Joe Rogan was.
Right.
But now he matters. Now
He's
people
got
listen.
10 times the viewership of any
Right.
network
And,
news.
right. And everyone listens. Everybody knows. And so now he's a problem. He hasn't changed.
No, not at all.
He's still the same Joe Rogan. Yep. But now all of a sudden he's a problem.
Yeah.
And why I don't take my medical advice from Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's just asking questions.
Right.
He's a really good question asker, and he, God forbid, he allows people to speak their minds.
Right.
I mean, he's had all the plant-based guys on. He's had
them all on.
Baker on. He's had all the carnivores, all the everybody, vegan bodybuilders, non-vegan. Everybody. He just asks them questions and gives them a platform to speak.
And then he's high as a kite, and he just says, "Wow."
But he's just a great interviewer because he's actually curious.
And he's a comedian.
Right.
So he's funny.
Yeah, he's funny.
So he's entertaining.
And he's curious, but when
he's super curious.
If you let people say something that you don't agree with, then like you said, then he's a threat. Well, I'm not so scared of someone else's opinion, or I'm not so insecure in my own that I'm afraid to hear yours.
Right. Right.
I mean, that's true for every area of my life. And I don't understand that instinct where people need to shut down the speech, any of this stuff. Because we can't have low carb, high fat diet because that's dangerous. It's going to kill people. We need to put a stop to this.
Because it's back to what I just said, the twofold. It's because somebody 10 years ago said, "Oh, don't do low carb. That'll kill you." Right. And then the guy did it. And 10 years later, he's still doing it and he's still in perfect shape and he's the best shape of his life. And all of his biomarkers are perfect. Well, you just wait, because they can't just go, I swung and missed.
Wait for how long?
Right. I swung and missed. Nobody's willing to say that anymore.
Rare is the person that says, well, I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, you proved me wrong. Good job. Good for you.
Right.
I didn't see that coming. I really thought that it was probably not.
And I'll even say that about vegans. Like in my mind, being vegan seems like the worst approach. But if I see a guy that's healthy and has muscles and somehow figured it out, I go, hey, you won.
High five, dude.
Yeah, you pulled it off. I don't know how, but you pulled it off.
Right.
So, I mean, you can't deny the evidence that's right in front of your face.
No.
And maybe with a little more investigation, you realize it's all supplements and whatever else. But
sure, who knows?
Who knows? But, that could be the same for anybody.
Exactly. But people who, and then that's the first part, and maybe it's a mixture of both of those two people, but the other one is what I just alluded to said before, is it works and it's big and it's successful, so they're against it.
Yeah,
it's like everybody hates Jeff Bezos because he has money. Nobody hated Jeff Bezos 20 years ago.
Or my favorite example of this, Nickelback, right?
Right.
Everybody freaking hates Nickelback.
Yep.
But meanwhile, they sold out the Dome when they came here in 2008 or whatever it was.
Yep.
They've had like 30 songs on the radio that obviously people listen to.
Everyone hates them. Act like and you know every word and you hate them.
Yeah. Don't act like you were the one going, I hate this band. Well, 20,000 people bought their tickets, and you can find stuff wrong with them and any artist.
Right.
But it's just interesting how they're universally hated.
Yeah.
Which I just don't subscribe to that.
I don't either.
I can either listen. I actually like Nickelback, and I did the whole time.
I like Nickelback a lot.
And I don't understand why, they got this hate. But of course, I like all kinds of silly music.
Sure.
From the 80s and all that.
Still, I mean, they're arena rock, and they're good.
Exactly. And,
Chad
I like
Kroger's got an amazing voice.
It's like, I like it. Sorry.
Right.
I'm not going to apologize.
You just did.
Sarcastically sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
But, the worst are the people that have to act like they hate him when they don't, just to try to fit in.
Just because they think it's funny.
Yeah. Or just to try to fit in with the crowd. And that's sad, because you should have enough confidence in your own positions on any of this stuff.
Right.
That you can stand by it. And if other people don't like it, so what? Your friend Norma just had a good post today. I should find it here.
But yeah, I'm with you 100%. The Nickelback, it could be almost like the Mandela effect, the Nickelback effect.
Exactly.
And there's so many examples of that. I can't think of any right now.
Okay, here's Norma's quote that I just liked. Norma Maxwell, who she owns a CrossFit place in town, right?
Yep.
What's
CrossFit
called?
Unitas.
Unitas. So she says, stay steady, strong, and consistent. You are not here for everyone to like. You're here to walk in your truth. You have the courage to be disliked. Remember, the people who are emotionally healthy do not have the time or desire to criticize you. Remind yourself of that each day and you will remain free and thrive. Boom.
Mic drop.
I like it.
I do too.
All right, well, let's wrap it up there. We're an hour and 10 in here.
Already?
Yeah, baby. Time flies.
Kidding.
So send emails to info@fitandfurious.com. Make sure you're watching on YouTube. Anywhere audio podcasts are found, please subscribe, rate, review, and share. Support the show on FuriousMerch.com. And we will see you next week.
Cue taking off headphones.